And I don't even want to cuss you and disrespect you, and I'm not. That was a figure of speech, because I'm not mad. I have no reason to be mad. I'm mad at one person, and that's the person that's booked for first-degree murder. Okay? First-degree murder. How could you?
Rebecca Finley and Whitney Walker say they did everything they could to protect 7-year-old Nia Williams, whose mother is now in jail, accused of killing her.
She was a baby of joy. She really was. She loved makeup, and Whitney would always show her makeup and show her how to do hair. She just was a lovely, lovely child.
The role of a mother can involve multiple responsibilities and functions, which can vary based on culture, social, and individual family dynamics. However, some of the main things any mother can be is a caregiver, role model, provider, educator, and nurturer, to name a few. In general, most mothers want to see their kids thrive and will do anything to protect them from bad things in the world. Any kid should be able to trust their parent, even if they can't trust anyone else. But sadly, this is not always the case, and some parents choose to only create a person but not take the responsibility of raising their child. Well, a mother in Florida not only had one child before that she chose to bring into the world while allegedly making bad life decisions, not able to truly care for her offspring. However, she was blessed to have loved ones that stepped in and provided for her kids with all of the love and care they needed. Her kids' godmother and an aunt took on the unofficial role to taking care of her kids over a 10-year period off and on, and wanted to give them nothing but a good childhood. Things were going good until the parents decided to take the kids back from the caretakers in 2024, and one of the kids tragically ended up losing their life. On April 24, 2025, a West Palm Beach esthetician and beautician, Whitney Walker, felt blessed to cheers to 30 years. Through trials and tribulations, ups and downs, she remained unbroken, still faithful, and full of life, especially after losing some of the most important people in it. Going back 10 years, Whitney, alongside her mother, Rebecca Finley, took on the responsibility of becoming unofficial caregivers for her loved one's children. At that time, a now 32-year-old Naikishia Williams was said to be dealing with life issues and substance abuse. Over the years, Keisha, as many called her, had 4 kids that ended up in the care of Whitney, the kids' godmother, and her mother, Rebecca, who the kids called Aunt. Even though the mother and daughter duo never officially adopted the kids, the two looked at them as their own. Of the 4 children they took care of, the last child came along 7 or so years ago. Little Nia Williams joined Whitney and Rebecca at 5 months of age after her mother, Naikishia, yet again brought another kid into the world using substance and not able to provide. Rebecca described Nia as a brilliant and vibrant young child who was a little fashionista and loved rainbows and unicorns. From a very young age, she was a happy spirited little girl whose light shined so bright up until she was taken from the home of the women who really cared about her. Within the last year of Whitney and Rebecca not having the kids, they never stopped fighting for them and even got DCF involved to get them in a better situation. Whitney not having her tribe around her was a hard blow, and she continued to pray that things would turn around. A few weeks before Whitney's 30th birthday on April 5th, she would write, "God Mama misses y'all so much, praying for God's protection over all 4 of y'all." Even though a big piece of her life was missing, she was beyond thankful to see the big 30 on April 24th. However, her celebration would be shortly lived after learning that Nia had tragically lost her life April 28, 2025.
Whitney would always show her makeup and show her how to do hair. She just was a lovely, lovely child.
Finley says she was Nia's caretaker when the girl was 5 years old and fought for years to keep Nia and her siblings safe. Finley says she contacted the Florida Department of Children and Families about her concerns. We have reached out to the DCF for comment, but have not yet heard back.
The state of Florida failed her. The state of Florida went against me for the mother, and eventually they see what we've been telling them for years.
She and Walker say whenever Nia came back into their care, she was thinner, sadder, and showed signs of neglect.
They didn't see the obvious signs, and they allowed them to go into a home that they weren't supposed to be in.
After finding out what took place, Rebecca went to the scene of the tragedy, and when people were asking Naikishia what happened to her daughter, this is when lies started to come out of her mouth. Everything from a stomach virus to a kidney failure and a heart problem was the reason 7-year-old Nia was rushed to the hospital where she was pronounced unalive. However, Rebecca knew the truth, and her daughter Whitney knew the truth, that Nia was a healthy child while in their care. They knew and believed that Naikishia was a heartless murderer, but it took a few months of investigation for the walls to come down on the so-called mother. While at the funeral, Rebecca was overwhelmed with heartbreak, seeing the child she loved so much that she said did not even look like herself.
My reason for living was not me. My reason for living was those children. I made it my reason. Okay, y'all. Y'all don't understand. Y'all don't understand. Ooh. I fought and I told them people for so many years. But Nia was special. Nia was special, y'all. Nia was the baby and she was special. We getting in the church, y'all. We're walking up to the church, walking up to the casket, whatever, man. I'm just gonna say this, and I'm gonna get away from that because that gets me emotional. The baby didn't look like herself, okay? The baby did not look like herself. I know my baby was scared, so the minute she took her last breath, she was terrified. And that's what hurts me the most.
She also spoke about how badly she and her daughter were treated at the funeral, not even being able to speak to the other kids that they took care of for so many years. During the service, Naikishia was said to show little to no emotion, having to bury her youngest child. How could a mother be so cold? Her days were numbered as Rebecca and Whitney fought hard for Nia and the truth of what happened to her. Well, after gathering enough evidence and receiving the autopsy report, authorities finally took their findings to court. Naikishia was indicted by a grand jury on Wednesday, June 25th, on charges of first-degree murder and aggravated harm, and arrested Friday, July 27th. Naikishia Williams was picked up 2 days before her 32nd birthday and is currently being held at the Palm Beach County Jail.
Police say inside of this house here in Riviera Beach is where they found this little girl, Nia Williams, beat so badly she later died, and officers blame her mother.
We can never get her smile back. We can never talk to her again.
From taking care of her since she was 5 months old
She was like my granddaughter.
and watching 7-year-old Nia Williams come into her own.
Well, Nia was brilliant. She's a fashionista. She loved makeup. She just was a lovely, lovely child.
Whitney Walker
I'm godmother.
and Rebecca Finley
Caregiver, which I was referred to as auntie.
sat side by side as Nia's mother,
Naikishia Williams.
walked into court accused in her murder.
What goes through your mind when you look at her?
How could you?
In April, Riviera Beach police say they came here to West 15th Street on a call of an unresponsive child, Nia, at the hospital. Walker says she called DCF in early April.
The last time I saw them, they were very malnourished.
That was just 12 days before her.
I told the DCF there wasn't one person that was not aware of this young lady being a dangerous mother.
These are 2 pictures shared by Whitney when she had Nia and when she was no longer in her care. It is so heartbreaking on so many levels, and Nia definitely did not deserve what happened to her. My heart truly goes out to Rebecca and Whitney for having to lose a child this way. Thank God that they fought for justice and continue to do so. Because of them, Nia was able to know what it was like to truly be loved and nurtured. Now she is forever 7, and it is so upsetting. Her life mattered greatly, and she should still be here. Do you all think the system failed her too? Let me know. Also, please don't forget to comment your thoughts and prayers for this family in their difficult time, and hit that like button and share to make your people aware. And as always, remember to stay woke. Things change quickly.